Look at him coming, dude.
Ever wonder what it would be like to live on a homestead where you grew your own food, you actually butchered your own food, you got to grow your own veggies and enjoy the fruits of your labor, literally? Well, that's what we got to see in Tucker Max's property tour. He took us around and showed us how him and his family are living this magical life off the grid in this beautiful community of Dripping Springs, Texas. Now, Bobby and I got to enjoy first how he protects the homestead. He's an avid marksman.
So what are you, pistol, rifle?
You know what? I've never shot a pistol.
All right.
You've never shot a pistol in your
I've only
life?
shot rifles
Oh,
or shotguns.
dude,
Okay, pistols it is.
that's all ammo, so it's not like we can run out. All right, come on, let's go. She loves going to the range. It's the weirdest thing. Every dog I've ever seen has always been super afraid of gunshots.
Yep.
This one could care less.
Tucker has an arsenal of weapons, but he's not a violent guy. This is not a person who's walking around with an AK-47 strapped to him all day long. No, he has these guns and he teaches his children how to shoot. Him and his wife and his children shoot every Sunday. They understand gun safety. This is not like some Second Amendment crazy person who's like, hey, I just want to kill everybody. No, it was more like, hey, I have the right to have arms and we're gonna have arms responsibly and I'm gonna teach my children how to use them and store them responsibly. And we got to see that whole setup, which was so fun. And then Bobby and I got to shoot some of these guns.
Stoked. This is the best day ever.
You actually look pretty decent. That's pretty good shooting, both of you.
I'm still a pretty dang good shot. I think I surprised the hell out of him and Bobby because I was hitting the target all the time. Bobby did pretty good too, but he's tall and white, so I figured he was gonna be a good shot anyways. After that, we went to go hang out with the sheep.
You ever fed sheep?
No.
Okay, well, you're going to today.
Now, I've never been on a farm where there was all these sheep and they came running. As soon as they heard there was food, these sheep came stampeding towards us, but they're so damn cute. Personally, I don't know how I would end up actually butchering one of these things. I don't know what that process looks like. Like, what do you do? How do you pick which sheep you are gonna eat that month, right? Are you like, I don't like this one, it shits too much, or oh, this one kind of looks funny or smells funny? I'm not sure how I'd be able to make the decision, but I really love what Tucker had to say in that there's something really spiritual about raising your own livestock and then when you butcher them, doing it in a humane way, in a way that is honoring the animal, where you use every part of the animal and you thank it for its sacrifice in feeding your family, and then hoping and blessing it that you will run into each other again soon. I think that's just such a beautiful sentiment. And honestly, I eat meat. I'm not a vegetarian, and so the way I eat meat is kind of lame, right? I go to the supermarket and I pick it up. In fact, I actually don't do that because I'm alone here in my house. I don't cook. I order my food from Uber Eats a lot of the time, and so God knows where that meat is coming from. So there's, a lot of disconnect in the way that my food is entering my body. And when I look at the way that Tucker's food is entering his family and how they are like connected to it, there's something very beautiful about that. And I thought, what an incredible example. And I might, eat my dog, or just kidding, I'm not gonna eat my dog, but you know what I mean, right? Like it makes me wanna have animals here that I don't know, I don't think I'd do it. But anyways, from that, we looked at Tucker's orchards. Now, these were incredible too because Tucker's growing all of his own fruit. As you can see, he's growing these beautiful, tasty peaches.
This is ready to eat.
Let's go.
Peach.
You want?
Yeah. Holy shit, they're so good. But he's not like this dude who just thinks he can do no wrong. No, he's talking about how he wants to grow and do better every year. And so he's trying out new things and he's really working on making his land sustainable. What's super interesting about it is that when Tucker bought the 50 acres, he bought it from a baby boomer who really just ran it like a modern farm, right? So he was using pesticides to kill the bugs. He was using fertilizer to grow the grass. He was growing grass on there that actually shouldn't have even been there. It was like grass that needs like thousands of gallons of water, and they're in Texas, right? So it's like they had to irrigate and all these things. It was just not natural for the soil there. And so he ended up leaching the soil and essentially ruining it. So Tucker had to come in and he had to redo all of the soil, and he did that by figuring out how he should let it grow, how he should then cut it down, what fertilizer he should use, and he does it all sustainably, right? So he's got a lawnmower that's actually this cage full of chickens. It was super interesting, right? He puts these chickens in this little cage, and then he moves it square by square by square, and the chickens all just, you know, mow down all the grass, and then they poop there, and then that creates fertilizer, and it replenishes the soil, and then the soil becomes usable for him to grow on in the future. Super interesting that he's able to do that. He even reuses the oyster shells from oyster night that they have in their house, right? Because he realizes that there's a ton of minerals in these shells, and rather than just throw them away, why not put them in the beds of his plants, and that'll create fertilizer for the, you know, tomatoes and the mint that he's growing in there. Just incredibly interesting. What I really love about Tucker is his transparency and honesty, right? He didn't come out saying, I was this manly man who knew how to build stuff and I knew how to grow things and I just, you know, rolled up my sleeves and I got to work. No, he's like me, right? He came from the city, he's a modern dude. And so he had to learn how to do all of this all on his own. He watched YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video, and I'm sure he cut himself 100 times, and he probably, you know, hit himself with nails and did all kinds of interesting things as he was growing and learning through this process. But he's actually become a pretty good builder. Like he built these cool little tables, and he's doing things in his house that are important and meaningful. And these are projects that he gets to do with his kids too, right? So that's super fun. Just imagine if you were able to build something with your father or your mother when you were a child, and that item or that piece of furniture ended up growing with you and going with you from house to house. There's just something super romantic and beautiful about that. And I really enjoyed what Tucker was doing. Now, of course, I would very likely, if I had 50 acres and I was gonna grow my own food, I probably would hire some folks to come out and help me and show me what to do, which Tucker admitted he had done as well, but a lot of the stuff he just learned on YouTube videos. But he shared with us a really insightful truth about this entire process, right? He was saying that if he had to do this for somebody else, he would absolutely hate it, right? And then that sentiment, that emotion would get fused with the things that you're growing, and then there's that always that like that hate, that like I don't want to do this job, that's mixing in the energy of the food you're growing. But what he's doing is he's infusing love into everything that he's growing there, into everything that he's raising there, because he's doing it for his family. Right? At the end of the day, everything that he's doing, every grain that he's growing, every sheep that he raises, right up to his dog. I mean, do you guys see how just incredibly beautiful Ruby is? Like, this dog was just joyful and happy, and she's such a cute little puppy. But you can feel the love that is permeating that entire homestead. From Tucker's point of view and his attitude, to the way his dog behaved, to the way that the sheep were, to even the guard dogs that were on the property. I mean, this was probably one of the most loving, wholesome environments I've ever visited in my life. And I can't believe that it was from the author who wrote, I hope they serve beer in hell. What a 360. Eye-opening, incredibly enlightening, insightful. I want to be Tucker Max's best friend. Tucker, be my best friend. I think the greatest insight that I got from Tucker was his answer to why we're all here.
So what I believe is that we are energetic beings having a physical experience. I'm not sure if it's aliens or spirits, you know, angels. I'm not sure what I mean by energetic being, but this is not our only life and our only existence, not even the primary one, almost like a video game. And I think my understanding of it so far is you have a physical experience because it's very hard to evolve as pure energy or as an energetic being, but it's much easier to evolve. You slow the energy down. This is a very lower form of energy. The slower the energy is, the lower the vibration, lower the form itself. It's easier to evolve. It's a harder experience, but it's easier to evolve your energy. I'm not sure exactly how. Please don't press me for fucking details, because I'm not an expert in this. But, and I feel like in whatever the astral realm, wherever realm you exist in as an energetic being, like you kind of pick the life you're coming into, and maybe you even come in with your group of friends or something like that. I don't know.
And possibly your traumas.
I think you pick the traumas, right? You pick the challenges, and you pick the stuff, and then you go in either together or as a group or whatever. And so you're like, okay, I'm gonna work on this and this and this, and you're gonna work on that. You're gonna be the daughter, I'm gonna be the mom, you know, whatever, right? And you go in with, I think, similar groups a lot and stuff. And so that this this existence, this experience is designed as a difficult one, a challenging one, and one for evolution and for growth. And so I think we're here to have these experiences and to learn from them and to grow from them. Do you play video games?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like, right, so if you play like whatever, World of Warcraft or Call of Duty, you have a character, you play it out, you win the game, that's cool, and then you either go on with your life or you buy another video game. I think it's sort of the same thing. And I feel like it's kind of like that. It is very much a game, but maybe with higher stakes than Call of Duty. You know, it's a game for your soul and a game to improve your soul.
I'm actually gonna be joining Tucker's mastermind, where he's gonna help me write my memoir. And I think that's gonna be so much fun. I'm actually gonna include a link to joining Tucker's workshop, where you can work with him directly, where he's gonna teach you how to write your life memoir. So if you've ever thought, man, I've lived enough lives here, I've almost lived like a movie, I think that my life would be super interesting for people to learn from and to read about, I would highly recommend you check out Tucker's workshop. I'm gonna be at one of the future ones, so maybe you and I will be able to interact in that workshop as well. There'll be a link in the description below so that you can check it out as well. Thanks, Tucker, for coming on to the Damji podcast. What an incredible guest. And if you're watching this right now, that means the episode is out. So go to my YouTube channel and check it out.